Hi, today we're going to look at the file field values and field values in regards to getting data from the data dictionaries. And I kind of been a bit confused, and I feel that there's a bit of a mouthful of syntax to go through to write all of these things. So we are going to dive a little bit deeper and see if we can understand how they work and how they behave in different contexts, so that you can be more confident when you use these functions to access data in the data dictionaries in the future. First of all, we're going to take a look a little bit of what the documentation says. Then I'm going to show you what I feel is kind of missing to describing what is going on with these creatures. And then I'm going to summarize it so that you kind of get a feel for when and where and how these things work together. But we're going to start out to have a look at the documentation. And the first page I would look at is something like field current value. And here you can see that these messages are used to retrieve and change a column's value. Get file field is used to retrieve values from a foreign column. This message is used frequently. I'm a little bit confused about what this refers to. Is it the file field or the field current value? Let's click the file field current value and see what it says there. This message is used to retrieve and change a foreign table column value. Get file field current value is used to retrieve values from the current column. This message is used frequently. Again, I'm a little bit perplexed to if this is referring to the file field or the field value, or perhaps both. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the documentation. If I read further down, it says, for a complete description, refer to the field and the file field data dictionary interfaces. So we click that link and we end up in the main class for data dictionary page. And in this page, you cannot read anything about the file field or field current values. Even if I make a search for that page, I cannot come up with anything. But I did find this page though. But apart from choosing between writing less code or using a single syntax, it only hints that it might be more likely that I'd be using file field outside of the data dictionary. In another page, I found that the file field should be used to set values in external DDs, but this sounds like we are inside of a data dictionary and counter to the previous page. To make matters even more confusing, as of 18.1 we also got the ref table that can be used for the case to access data dictionary values. But does that mean we can access external data dictionaries? No, not really, as you will see later on in the video. And I know that the ref table wasn't really created for the file field values or field value, but it is possible to use it there. And also in some videos at Data Access, I've seen it suggested that we should use it. So that's why I mentioned it as well. Now, let's have a look at how these things actually work and the answers to the question I had in my mind when I was trying to understand how to use these commands. Over to the computer. Yes, and I have actually updated our item view And there are two different contexts that I want to look at and try all of these different alternatives. So the first one, I've just added in the backout procedure inside of the data dictionary. So we have the item data dictionary here. And inside we do have a backout, and I've just added a bunch of values here. So I clear the test and then I try to get the value into test in different ways to see what works and what doesn't work. And the second way is I've created a button, and when I click the button, I run through all of these different tests to see what values I get out of it. And I have actually made a presentation where I show these different options so we can see the result. And let's look at that. So in the first context, we have the button, and we can see that because we're outside of the data dictionaries. You can see the data dictionaries in the top here. And then we have this set main DD to item and set server to item. We're going to look at those in a different video, I guess. But for now, you need to know that these are indicating then that when I try to get values from the data dictionary or have data entry items that get data from the data dictionaries, this is the primary data dictionary that gets used and gets saved. So the first set of tests here is looking to see if I can get values without explicitly setting the data dictionary, because perhaps if I'm in a click event in a button, it should know what data dictionary I'm working with and figure out the value, but it looks like it does not in any of these cases. And the cases is I'm trying to use file field value to get the item, and then I try to get the file field value to get the foreign table name, location in this case. Then I'm trying the field current value, field item name, and field for remote, and this should not work if everything is as it's supposed to be. And then we have the ref table that does the same as this one. And I do this for this one as well. But here I actually show the item data dictionary. So in this case, I select the OItem data dictionary and go down and try to do the same. And in the last one, I try to get the values from the OLocation data dictionary to see what that does. Because as we have the OItem server, I thought that maybe I had to use the get file field value to get the location name. But as we can see, it seems like I can just do a regular get to get the location name as long as I just say that it's supposed to be in the data dictionary. So all of these fail, and that's because this OItem DD is obviously not set by default in any way. So we have to tell the function what data dictionary to get the data from in this case. And if we try to get from another table on the same data dictionary, this fails as expected. We have to use the file field current value to get the value of a foreign table on the OItem data dictionary. And that works the same way if we swap the data dictionaries and look at the OLocation data dictionary instead. Then I also try to get the remote table here in the bottom when using the OLocation data dictionaries. but it seems like it's returning some pointer reference or something to the description in my O location. So that doesn't work, at least, but it returns some weird value. So be careful with that. In the next setting, I omit the O location from my data dictionary structure, and I do not set it as server. And of course, the first options are still not working, so I skip them here. So we're only looking at get the current value of the O item, and that works. But I cannot access the remote table from the O item if I do not have it specified in the item data dictionary. So we can't get the location name there. And then the rest of them works as before. So we actually have to have the O location data dictionary available, which means that we should be able to do this get field current value of O location DD field location name instead of having to do the get file field current value of O item DD field location name. So I'm not sure so far. I don't see any reason to use the file field variant of this. When we try to access anything from the location data dictionary, it fails because it has not been implemented in this view. And we also get an error on the remote table using ref table, so that's just out of the question. It seems like the ref table is behaving exactly as the field version of this. Now we move inside the data dictionary. So we're inside the procedure update. And here, as you can see, we actually can access these values without setting the data dictionary that we are working with, because now these functions know what data dictionary they are calling from. So these works the same way as if we assign the data dictionary, and these ones work, let's see, yeah, they work the same way as long as the O location data dictionary is available, because it is set to server. And our little 28 here is still not working as expected. And in our last example, I have removed the object location and the reference to the location in the item data dictionary. And I also had to send remove server file location.file number, because otherwise the view would just throw an error when I try to press save in order to get into this update or backout procedure. So I couldn't even make this test if I didn't have this row here. So in this case, we do get the item. When we do not have any reference, we cannot get the location. And we do have access to the item, of course. Down below here, we have the same situation. And actually down here, when we try to use the O location, all of them fails because, yeah, it's been removed and we cannot access it in this context. So based on what we have seen so far, it seems like the file field version of get current value really is kind of pointless, and we can in any case use the get field current value of the remote data dictionary, as long as we provide the data dictionary reference. I think that perhaps the get file field current value makes sense in a situation where you haven't hard-coded the item data dictionary, for instance, but have a generic code that should access it. So probably inside the core of the data dictionaries, I suppose that using get file field values makes sense. But when you know what data dictionary you are accessing and you hard code it into the application, I see no point in using the file field current value. But you might have some other experience that you are free to share in the comment below to enlighten us. That would be great. So when in data dictionary context, you can actually omit the reference to the data dictionary if you're accessing your own data dictionary. And if you want to access a remote data dictionary, you could use file field current value, but I would assume that it's cleaner and easier to write field current value and just reference the correct data dictionary. But that's up to you. And if you want to use field or ref table, yeah, your pick. And that was all I had from the office. Back to Johan in the lounge. Now I feel that we've got a lot more information. We know in which context to use the different versions of commands. And I think that instead of always using the file field values, I would probably move on to using the file values and perhaps the ref table, even though I have to write a few more letters. Well, that's all I had for you today. I hope you got something out of it. And if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, put them in the comments below, and hit the like button if you like this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.